Abkhazia today is an autonomous region of the country of Georgia. In 720 AD, it held much of the same status, although inside a much larger country, or should I say empire. For the past few hundred years, Abkhazia was a vassal state under the control of the Eastern Roman Empire. This relationship can easily be seen through the names of the Abkhazian rulers. The current one was named Constantine II, and he was the king of Abkhazia. Unfortunately, in that same year, 720, the ruling king of Abkhazia would die, leaving his son next in line. His name was Leon, which was probably an Abkhazian spin on the name Leo, another common name for Eastern Roman emperors. King Leon settled into his new role, most likely spending a good deal of time governing from his capital fortress called Anacopia. Now a ruin, this was once a sprawling castle and a hub for trade and commerce, but also for the princedom of Iberia, directly on their border. The two kingdoms shared plenty together, often their fates and cultures intertwined. Since 330 BC, the time of the first Iberian king, Pharnavaz I, the two regions usually found an easy ally in one another. A time would soon come when this age-old alliance would be tested. The current Arab governor of Armenia and future Umayyad Caliph, Marwan II, invaded Iberia in 735. His first campaign would be directed at the Prince of Kartli, Archon. It's important to mention that this was not a full invasion of Iberia, but only a specific hunt for Archon. At this time, Prince Guram III, vassal of the Umayyad Caliphate, was the ruling prince of Iberia, and he was more than loyal to his Arab overlords. Guram III paid his tribute to the Umayyads, but Prince Archon, he did not. This was also something of a revenge campaign for the Umayyads. Only 50 years ago, Archon's grandfather, Adornase II, who was at the time ruling prince of Iberia, revolted against the caliphate. This war soon became a coalition, as the Armenian prince and the Prince of Caucasus Albania joined his revolt. They would fight for a total of 4 years, but would eventually be crushed, with Archon's grandfather Adornase II meeting his end in this conflict. His dynasty, called the Chosroids, were deposed, but managed to sustain a hold on Iberia through the city of Kartli, a city that Marwan II now targeted and put under siege. The siege of Kartli lasted for the better part of a year, until Marwan managed to take it. He expected to find Prince Archon Chosroid, where he would probably either imprison or execute him. Instead of this, he only found empty royal beds, where Archon and his brother had slept. The two princes were now on the run, straight towards Abkhazia. Prince Archon and his brother, Prince Mirian, arrived at King Leon's capital of Anacopia, seeking refuge. Fast on the heels of the two princes was Marwan, who was eager for another siege. King Leon wrote to his overlord, Emperor Leo III. He requested that a relief army be sent to Anacopia for his protection. The emperor responded, not with an army, but with instructions and reassurance. King Leon was told to use the two young princes that had ran to him for protection. Leon instructed the princes to send out letters and gather men quickly. Soon, Marwan would arrive. Anacopia needed all available men to defend it. Sometime in 736, Marwan arrived at the gates, being met by a combined Iberian and Abkhazian defense. Anacopia was put to the siege. The defenders repelled every oncoming attack. Both the walls and the men held firm. A frustrated Marwan would be forced to retreat from Abkhazia. King Leon had not only served his master in Constantinople, but he also managed to help his fellow countrymen against a common enemy. Marwan continued his campaign, turning to the south before again turning north. He then put Anacopia to siege in 737. Again, the combined forces defended their walls successfully. Marwan was determined this time, but would soon fall victim to man's oldest enemy, Mother Nature. A great rainstorm fell across Abkhazia. The plains that surrounded Anacopia started to flood and create a moat. Marwan was again forced to retreat, this time abandoning his campaign altogether. With Abkhazia and Iberia somewhat safe, the two princes returned to their homeland, but not before a formal binding of the two kingdoms through marriage. King Leon would marry Goran Dukt, the daughter of Prince Mirian Chosroid. After hearing news of the twice defeated Marwan, Emperor Leo III sent his praise, and bestowed upon Leon the title of Archon of Abkhazia. This title, for the Eastern Romans, meant to be first to rule. Now that Leon was first to rule, he was also granted ownership over much of the Black Sea coast to his direct north. It's at this point that sources disappear for Leon. As for Prince Mirian, he would be killed in 741 while fighting another Umayyad invasion. Prince Archon would continue ruling in his place. In 767, the Archon and King of Abkhazia would die after 47 years of reign. He would be succeeded by his son through marriage with Grand Duke. His name was King Leon II, and he would, with time, become the first independent king of Abkhazia. King Leon was certainly a heroic figure for both Georgia and Abkhazia. His defense of his capital, Anacopia, halted Umayyad expansion in the area. It's very possible that without him, Arabic may have become the common tongue of Abkhazia, maybe even Georgia.